What's up guys, Potato Sensei here. Welcome to the Mario Odyssey vs. Breath of the Wild Showdown, the two big boys. Now, I think I have 9 categories to see which game is better. Let's see them. We got gameplay, story, direction, characters, music, visuals, replayability, open world, and atmosphere. This video will be a little bit lengthy, seeing that we have 9 categories, and I'm going to go pretty in depth with each one, just to see every part of the game, so that we can show every little thing that can make a game better or worse. Just wanted to say that I love both of these games. They're both incredible, and they're both on my list for my favorite games of all time. So don't think that if I don't put one as the better game, it's a horrible game. They're both great, but one, in my opinion, is superior to the other. So, let's get into the first category. Let's start off with Mario Odyssey. Its gameplay is so revolutionary compared to other entries in the franchise. Transforming into classic Mario creatures is a Mario fan's dream come true. The number of captures available didn't feel overwhelming, but felt like enough. I enjoyed how they started off with simple captures like a Goomba or Frog to ease the player into this new style of gameplay. As the game goes on, the captures ramp up in number and variety, whether it be a gigantic dinosaur, Bill, or Firebro. This new capture system was well received by fans and myself. Each capture fit really well in each kingdom. Each area to explore, or kingdom, whatever you want to call it, felt so vibrant and alive. The locals made me feel at home in different towns or cities. The excellent level design brought the areas together. Playing with Mario felt so relaxed in a sense. I felt in control with Mario, and the wealth of abilities provided creative moves I could come up with. The only flaw I had was the lack of need with motion controls. I always saw it, but never felt the need to actually incorporate it into my gameplay. I did also hear some negative feedback about this topic too from fans. Let's move to Zelda Breath of the Wild. Nintendo went all out, allowing Link to jump. It was a big move. Good job, Nintendo. Breath of the Wild focused on exploration, which complemented the huge open world land of Hyrule. The ruins provided creative problem solving in shrines and in different scenarios. Each one felt needed for the game and brought a whole new spin on the gameplay aspect. The flaws I had were the controls. Whether I was doing a bunch of moves at a fast pace, I felt like Link froze up, and I didn't have the control I had with Mario. Also, the controls for horses were pretty bad. I felt like whenever I was climbing a mountain, my horse would just get stuck and there'd be no way to escape with him. I even had to use a bomb to move him one time. That's how hard it was. This was pretty minor, but still important. The paraglider was such a cool new item in Link's huge wealth of items in the series. This worked well with the open world and allowed for a more easier way of transportation. The little things were cool too, like shield surfing and the cool physics like setting grass on fire to get an aerial attack. Now cooking was a major change to the Zelda formula. Each meal required a special recipe. I always was proud to see my beautiful meals in my inventory. This was just so cool and worked really well. So, after careful review, I think I have decided that the game that wins the gameplay aspect is Mario Odyssey. I really liked how there was so many abilities, and I just felt so in control with Mario. Mario Odyssey's story strayed a bit far from its open world feels. Even though at times Nintendo let you choose from 2 kingdoms, it still felt very linear. This was a pro where each kingdom had more hype and the game amplified it on the way to your kingdom, but it can also be a con too, because it loses that sense of open world that the game was striving for. The main story follows Mario and Cappy on their globe-trotting rescue mission for Princess Peach and Tiara. The Cap Kingdom develops the story really well, and I actually enjoyed it while having some flaws. Breath of the Wild, on the other hand, focuses on exploration more for its story. You have to save Hyrule from Calamity Ganon, who has tormented Hyrule for 100 years, excluding the other games. Hearing Zelda always pushed me to keep playing the game, and the memories you find along the way make it all the more worth it. The one where Zelda starts sobbing in devastation touched me emotionally. The fact that you have to go and find the story still amazes me. It intertwined the story with the open world so well, and this is why Breath of the Wild wins gameplay. Mario Odyssey had a good story, but it strayed a bit too far from its open world feels. And that's why Breath of the Wild wins the story category. Direction is a huge part of video games. A game with bad direction or progression can bore a player, and even urge them to put the game down for a while. Both Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild both gave great direction. Mario Odyssey's progression was more linear, where you went one by one to each kingdom, but each one felt like a little pit stop on your adventure. Each kingdom functioned beautifully, and they were all perfectly placed. While on my way to the next kingdom, I was anxious to see what joys came next. After you beat each kingdom, it transforms in a way differently than it first was. Even though this was cool, after a while the new look of the kingdoms got a bit stale. I like the original Lake Kingdom colors better, and the sunny blue sky better than the sunset in my opinion for the Seaside Kingdom. This was fun-filled, but had the same problems as the story, where it was just very linear. I felt like this bogged down the exploration aspect. This wasn't a huge problem and didn't affect my adventure too much, but still left a mark. Breath of the Wild has a unique style of direction. I felt like I was in full control of the mission. I didn't feel like a chess piece of the game, but like the player, and the game was my chessboard. Once I finished the Divine Beast quest, I felt so accomplished. With getting a new ability, cutscene with the champion, and having so many adventures right around the corner, this was thrilling. Everything fit into my own style of play. The suspense and stakes at each boss was really good, and when you enter a village/town for the first time, it's breathtaking. Breath of the Wild definitely wins this category, making the score 2-1, Zelda in the lead. Mario Odyssey has an amazing cast of characters. Letting you transform into a classic Mario creature was just genius. They even added in new creatures into the mix, which spiced things up a bit. Playing as a Goomba, Chain Chomp, or even a Bonsai Bill puts other games to shame. The strict set of abilities that each captured prevented you from just using not Mario at all, the entire game. These creatures did lack real emotion, but they were still really cool to play as. I categorized bosses into the characters category, and they were sweet. They felt so diverse and intimidating. Whether it be a food bird, flower-sucking alien robot, or even just Bowser, it was great. Now, Breath of the Wild, on the other hand, has some really well-developed characters. The champions in Zelda are well-developed with memories, cutscenes, and voice acting. A lot of people didn't like the English voice acting, but I loved it. Even though Zelda didn't sound like Zelda we are used to, Breath of the Wild was anything but what we've seen before, and I loved it. Rivali, for example, was very well developed. At first you see his annoying brat-like personality, but you see him undergo a change where he begins to respect Link, which I really enjoyed. The bosses were fun to fight, but each one was felt very similar. All in all, I think that Mario Odyssey wins this category. Playing as classic Mario creatures is just amazing. A video game soundtrack can be the leading factor in which one I like better. Mario Odyssey had an outstanding soundtrack. Each kingdom had a unique theme, but they all had one thing in common. They were good. Themes like Bonneton or Fossil Falls paved the way for the game's soundtrack. I love listening to this while I'm doing homework or drawing. The variety of instruments showed how creative Nintendo is and how well they use their imagination. Odyssey also had Jump Up Superstar and Break Free Lead the Way, which are great soundtracks and the lyrics were just amazing. The only flaw I had was the soundtrack is pretty small compared to other video game soundtracks. It was very good though. Breath of the Wild towers over Odyssey in size of the soundtrack. This game has over 6 hours of music. A lot of people say that the whole game is just piano notes in the wilderness. And to that I say, listen to this. The game does well with letting you lay back and relax with the small piano notes, but then slaps you in the face with amazing sequences of action-packed themes. It's not just piano notes in action, whether it be a tropical city theme, or a lonely tower, or even just a small town. It works, and works beautifully. This game definitely wins with size, and each soundtrack was unique and beautiful. Starting with Mario Odyssey, this game was so beautiful, with such a small console like the Switch. Each kingdom was so colorful and vibrant. Kingdoms like the Cascade, Wooded, or Seaside kingdoms stood out in a rich, colorful setting. I love how in the Cascade Kingdom, you can see the falls and mountains in the back. The water was so beautiful too. In the Lake Kingdom, it shined so well with the landscape. When Mario starts swimming, it looks so real and the splashes and currents bring water to life. Beautiful. The visuals of Breath of the Wild complements the size so well. The nighttime looks were brilliant too. The water physics were really nice. The colors of the shrine spoke Sheikah. I love how the start, even though you are on the other half of the map, you can still see Rudania climbing on Death Mountain or Meadow flying, which was a neat touch. The villages made me feel at home with the beautiful art. The only problem I had was the overlapping of colors at sometimes. Sometimes when I was just riding my horse, it felt off seeing it rain blue colors with the red of the Divine Beast homing and the colors of Hyrule Castle. It just didn't mix well. All in all, I believe that Mario Odyssey wins this category. The kingdoms were just so vibrant and beautiful. Replayability is a huge part of video games. Having something to do after the main story is always a joy. Mario Odyssey excelled in this category. The Mushroom Kingdom was the perfect place for replayability. Seeing Peach's castle, Yoshi, and even a Mario 64 level was just great. The thing I loved the most was that you could fight all the bosses again to show how far you've come in the game. This was awesome, and the amount of moons to find was crazy but cool. The dark and darker sides of the Moon Kingdoms provided good challenges, which I always accept. Breath of the Wild, on the other hand, focuses more on what you can achieve before and after the ending. The amount of stuff to do is just crazy. 999 Korok seeds, over 100 shrines, tons of side quests, and a bunch of memories fill the open world up with excitement. The fact that you can't attack the Divine Beasts or even go in them, which was the best parts of the game, really ruins the experience. The only flaws were the annoyances of some Korok seeds. The sheer amount is a hard task for any 100%er. It feels hopeless to 100% the game, but the knowledge that an adventure is right around the corner still amazes me. The main problem that I and a lot of fans had was the end. The fight against Ganon was sweet, but after the credits, the game brings you back before you fought Ganon. Having no restored Hyrule and still seeing the destroyed Ganon quest marker is really frustrating. I believe that Mario Odyssey wins this category. It just has a lot fewer flaws. Nintendo made a risky move and went all in with the open world genre. Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild both focused on the open world genre. Let's start with Mario Odyssey. This game had a linear progression system, but each kingdom felt like its own mini open world. Kingdoms like the sand or wooded felt like giant works of art, while the lake or cap kingdoms showed how size isn't everything. I loved how the art styles, music, and captures all brought each area to life. Nintendo wanted us to really feel like we were in this open world by even giving us a brochure like we were tourists. Oh wait, Mario kinda is a tourist in this. Wow, globe-trotting adventure. Okay, Nintendo, I got it. Breath of the Wild is the opposite of Odyssey, seeing that it's just one huge landmass. Landing off the Great Plateau and seeing the words Hyrule Kingdom lets us know that this is a new era in the Zelda franchise. Exploring this huge landmass just felt awesome. The interesting NPCs, alive villages, classic regions, and fun enemies felt like a dream come true. The shrines and Divine Beast dungeons provided a good area for tight puzzle-based levels. Seeing Rudania climbing Death Mountain or Meadow flying in the distance was so great. Breath of the Wild definitely wins this category. Nintendo went all in and it worked. Now it all comes down to this, atmosphere. This is one of my favorite categories, and this was very hard to decide. Mario Odyssey was beautifully atmospheric. The art style, music, and even just the title, ooh, Nintendo, please give us a sequel. The classic Mario enemies to capture amplified each area. Once you capture an enemy, the possibilities open up. One example is the Wooded Kingdom. You enter in this nice forest with these nice ambient sounds. Then you enter the forest steamworks with classical and rock music intertwined. Perfect. Breath of the Wild took my breath away. The atmosphere of camping in a forest and hunting deer was a big step for the Zelda franchise. The towns and villages and making me feel like a traveler coming in after a long and tiring journey. The Divine Beasts were perfectly made. Gerudo Desert, for example, houses a bazaar, which is a perfect example of atmosphere. Seeing the Gerudo people live in the shadow of Vonnevoors is chilling. Beautiful. Now, let's see our winner. Before I unveil the winner, I just want to make everyone aware that both these games are granted the title of masterpiece from me. Both are incredible masterpieces, but this is a competition, and there must be a winner. The winner of the Mario Odyssey versus Zelda Breath of the Wild competition goes to Mario Odyssey. This game revived its genre and proved that Mario is not dead. The game is always so much fun to play. Breath of the Wild is still a great game and was just so close. Although Mario is my game for now, when I'm in the Zelda mood, my opinion may change. It's always changing. Seeing that whenever I play Zelda, I'm like, this is amazing, best game ever. But then I play Mario and I'm like, this is the best game ever. This was a really tough decision, and I'm sure that I'm going to be awaiting the sequels. I really hope you enjoyed the video, guys. It took a lot of work and effort, and I hope it paid off. See you later, guys. Potato Sensei, out.